FightHype.com. Sean Zittel here with the 3-division champion Seniesa Estrada fighting March 25th up in Fresno, California. This time, it's been a 3-division champ, but the first time going for a unification at 105 pounds against Tiny Tina Ruprecht out of Germany, undefeated out of Germany. And my first question for you, Seniesa, is what do you think of Tina? The fact that she's been the WBC champion for going on almost 5 years, and that she beat Yokasta Valle, a fighter that you've had a back and forth with. What's your assessment of Tina?
Yeah, I think Tina is a good fighter, and she's like I said, I mean, well, not like I said, but like her name is Tiny Tina, and it's for a reason. She's small. She also fights small, and I think a lot of fighters who fight small fighters, it's actually what people think, like, they see two fighters face off and they're like, oh, one's a lot taller than the other, so that fighter is going to win. But short fighters have an advantage if they can fight small and fight short. And that's why Tina is so successful when she fights. And that's why she defeated Valle. I remember watching that fight, and she basically did what she wanted with Valle, because Valle doesn't have the footwork, doesn't have the defense, she's not capable of fighting a different way. And when you fight Tina, you have, well, I won't say too much because, like I said in the previous interview, this is like one fight where I don't want to say what my game plan is or what I'm going to do, because I want Tina to think that I'm going to fight her a certain way. And I'm sure I guarantee her team thinks that I'm going to fight her a certain way. So I just, I'm going to show a lot in this fight. It's going to be a lot different than what she expects or what anyone expects.
What do you think they're expecting? The Mexican warrior? Or the Superfly moving and grooving?
I think they're expecting I don't want to say anything. sorry.
No, I got you. But you're talking about how she fights small. Is it almost like an armadillo, like Esau Cruz in men's boxing? Like just yes. That chin gets so chucked.
Yeah. You've seen it with a lot of fighters, and her name's Tiny Tina. So what I have to do is keep her tiny. Don't make her big. You can't make a small fighter big by falling into the trap that they want you to fall into. And that's what that's just what I've been working on and thinking about every day. I've been watching and studying certain fights where the styles are similar. This training camp has been more mentally exhausting than physically, because physically I've been training just as hard as I always train, but it's mentally, there's some days where I'm just like, man, like I gotta make sure I do this in training perfectly. I gotta make sure that like this game plan is to the T from the first round. That way it plays out exactly the way I want it to, in the beginning of the fight, the middle of the fight, the late rounds. So yeah, it's definitely been mentally challenging for me, but I feel great. Sparring's been going really, really well, and I got this. I got it down.
Sounds good. Will you get some satisfaction should you beat Tina, beating an opponent that Valle could not, being that that's one of your rivals? It almost seems like right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna show Valle how you defeat a champion like Tina. Valle says that my record sucks and I haven't fought anybody, which, I mean, I defeated 2 reigning world champions in 2 different divisions, and I defeated Marlena Esparza, who was a bronze medalist, who I wasn't supposed to win that fight. When you think about it, like, I don't even think anybody at Golden Boy thought I was going to win. They're like, oh, let's just put Seniesa up against Marlene, so that way we can, have an opponent for Esparza to beat, not knowing really how good I am. And it didn't play out the way they thought it would. But as far as Yokosta's record, she hasn't fought anybody. The 2 champions she fought and the 2 champions she faced, she lost. Tina beat her, and the other champion, what was her name? The Japanese champion.
Yeah.
So every time she stepped up, she lost. I think the only decent opponent that she defeated was this last one, was Bermudez. So besides that, her record is trash.
But that said, has managed to grab those two belts, the IBF and the WBO at 105 and 108. Is that the next person with a target on your back for you? Is her? And if it is it 105 or 108 that you're more interested in?
It'll it'll definitely be 105. I know she vacated those because she wanted to stay at 105. That's her
Okay.
natural weight class. And of course, if she wants a big fight, I'm at 105, and I want to be undisputed there first. So defeating Tina and getting these titles, and then that's the first step to becoming undisputed, because hopefully we can get the fight with Via after this fight.
You like that trash talk though? I mean, like it makes better for it gets the fights more attention.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not that type of fighter. I'm real quiet. Everyone who knows me, like I've had fighters say stuff about me before where I don't even say anything. I don't even respond. But when it comes to this, like it's not only her, but it's Golden Boy and it's her trainer and her team who are just like, it's like to defeat not only Via, but to defeat Golden Boy, that's going to be like, oh my God, that's going to be like the greatest moment of my life. It's going to be great. Yeah, I said something and I spoke up because she was saying that like, that I was lying about wanting to fight her and calling her out, which is absolutely not true, because I remember 2-3 years ago, no, maybe 3 years ago, because there's actually reporters who I talked to who remember me saying, I want to fight Yokosa Vaya. And I remember walking into the Golden Boy office for a meeting with Robert Diaz and saying, I want to fight this was like 2 to 3 years ago. I want to fight Yokosa Vaya. And he's like, who's Yokosa Vaya? And then I was like, she's the IBF champion from Costa Rica. He's like, oh, okay, well, I'll look into her and I'll look her up. So Robert Diaz and Golden Boy didn't even know who she was until I said that I wanted to face her. And then they went and contacted her team, tried to make the fight happen 2 different times, and we couldn't make it happen for whatever reasons. But yeah, I wanted that fight. I'm not afraid of anybody.
It sounds like it might be more, easier to make now, hopefully, right? So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
But with Tina, and I know you already said you don't want to give away much at all, but are you too athletic, too creative for her and her kind of, German hands up, relying on that high guard a lot? Are you too athletic and too creative for her? Is that going to be the difference?
Definitely. Yeah, you hit it spot on. I'm too skilled. I can do too much. Like my last fight, being out of the ring for 11 months, I didn't know how I was going to feel, because there's a such thing as ring rust. Like my arms and hands, that's why I landed like 50% of my power shots, because my arms and my hands they felt great. But ring rust comes from your legs. It doesn't come from your hands. It comes from your legs. That's where you feel it. You're not used to just being in that ring with that, feeling that mat, and like just the whole difference of not being active and stepping into the ring after a long time. That's where the ring rust comes from, is your legs. But I feel like going into this fight, I'm going to show the best of me, better than I've been feeling, better than I've ever felt. And working with perfecting athletes for the first time. So the first time I have a nutritionist, which is awesome, because now I'm like, wow, I've been fighting for 21 years and I've never had a nutritionist, never had anyone to tell me like what I should be putting into my body and what I shouldn't. And just the first 2 weeks of working with them, I felt like such an amazing difference in my performance and the way I was feeling in the gym, the way I was feeling during running, during sparring. So I'm excited to see how that plays out into the fight with helping me physically.
And, with all the stuff all 4 of these sanctioning bodies pull, do you still, though, get a little something extra fighting for the WBC belt?
What do you mean?
Like, in today's era of boxing, all 4, WBO, WBA, WBC, IBF, they've all pulled their shenanigans. But so I'm asking, despite all that, is there still like a special feeling fighting for the WBC out of all 4 of them, even though, they've all played a role in playing some games in boxing? Yeah. How do you feel?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, everybody wants the green belt. Everybody
Right.
wants the WBC title. So, yeah, I'm excited to fight for it and to have it. And also the Ring Magazine belt that we'll be fighting for. That's actually one of my favorite looking belts. It just looks so cool and so classic. So I'm excited to have that one. But I'm just looking forward to just having all the belts and being undisputed. So
yeah, you get all 4 of them, then what, it is what it is. But and also Seniesa, just gotta ask. Oh no, actually too. With Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor, Alicia Bumgardner, Amanda Serrano, do you like at all say to yourself, I need to continue to show out to stay in that top 5 to be, because Katie Taylor, the other fighters, they've always put you alongside the other 4 I just mentioned as, that's the top 5 pound for pound. And
right.
what do you think about all that?
Yeah, I definitely just, as long as I'm staying active and fighting and people are seeing me and watching me grow as a fighter and watching my skill level and watching it, like I felt my best in, what was it, 2019 or 2020 when I fought back-to-back world champions in 2 different divisions. And I ended the year fighting Santizo. That was like my best year because I was active, so I felt so good. And then to kind of just stop for 11 months and kind of slowly drop on the pound for pound list. I feel like I just have to stay active and keep winning and keep racking up these world titles. And I'll definitely be up there. I would say, I mean, a lot of the girls in the top 5 are, except for Clarissa, but like Katie, Amanda, and who else? Bacasco and a couple other ones. They're a few years
Chantel
older.
Cameron, Franchon.
Yeah, Chantel Cameron.
Yeah, that's like the top 10, and yeah.
Yeah, they're like a few years older than me, so I feel like within the next maybe year or 2, I'll be like pound for pound number 1 for sure.
Okay, all right. Hey, you said I love it. you heard it from Seniesa there. She's gunning for the number 1 spot, as all the top champions I'm sure do, right? But before I let you out of here, I am in LA for your boy Ryan Garcia taking on Tank. Your boy is an underdog in this fight, but how do you believe he will win this fight, and what's he got to do to win this fight?
I'm Team Ryan, you know that. So I definitely, I'm rooting for Ryan, and I think he has everything it takes. He has the speed, he has the power, but then Gervonta also has the power. So it's kind of like, when that one big shot lands from either one, who's gonna be able to take whose punch, which is good, makes it so intriguing and so exciting. I'm gonna be like extremely nervous when that fight's happening, but I think I would just like to see Ryan correct certain things and improve on certain things. And if he could do that while fighting Tank, then I think Ryan is definitely he's gonna show that that he's the best and he's gonna beat Tank. And as long as he continues to improve on those little defensive movements and footwork that I think he needs a little bit of improvement on, then he's gonna be unstoppable. But I have Ryan winning and beating Tank.
You said the same thing Bernard Hopkins told me. He said he's got to treat this camp like he has a tennis ball under his chin. And my question to you, though, is does he have enough time between now and April 22nd to make that adjustment and make it work in a big fight like this?
I mean, this is the fight that he's been wanting for longer than just what a training camp is.
Right.
So he should have I know in his mind, this is the only fight he wanted, the only fight he was working for and working towards. So in camp, he should have been working on that months and months ago. So I think as long as he was, then then he'll be fine. But yeah, I agree with Bernard on that for sure.
And lastly, on that fight, we find out yesterday there's this rehydration clause, keeps him at 146 on fight night. Is that really going to have an effect on the fight? Is it fair to speculate about that? Or is it a case of, hey, you signed up for what you signed up for and there's no talk about it? What's your honest opinion on it?
Okay, say it again.
So he has the rehydration clause where he can't come in above 146 on fight night. Is it fair to speculate that might weaken Ryan, do something to his performance, or is that not fair to Gervonta? Hey, you signed the contract that you signed. Now, no excuses, or what do you make of it all?
I mean, if I feel like for Gervonta, like that, because everyone's been waiting for so long for this fight to happen, and they've both been saying how they wanted this fight so badly and they wanted to make it happen. Like, just make the weight and fight, But at the same time, that's something that of course, Gervonta is doing on his behalf to benefit him. So I get that. Ryan's a lot bigger than him as far as height. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, Ryan will have to stay away from Allen B's out there. Have to stay away from there between now and April 22nd. Best of luck to you, Seniesa. March 25th, fighting in Fresno, the unification on the line, and other big fights in the future on the line. Just thank you for your time. If there's anything else you want to say before you get out of here, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good one, guys. Good luck, Seniesa.
Thank you.